purport. Three words have been used in this connection to describe the achievement of Devahuti: Atmanam, Brahma Nirvanam and Bhagavantam. These refer to gradual process of discovery of the absolute truth mentioned herein as the Bhagavantam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead resides in various Vaikuntha planets. Nirvana means to extinguish the pangs of material existence. When one is able to enter into the spiritual kingdom or into spiritual realization, one is automatically freed from the material pangs. This is called Brahma Nirvana. According to Vedic scripture, Nirvana means cessation of materialistic way of life. Atmanam means realization of the super soul within the heart. Ultimately, the highest perfection is realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is to be understood that Devahuti entered the planet which is called Kapila Vaikuntha. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets predominated by the expansions of Vishnu. All the Vaikuntha planets are known by a particular name of Vishnu. As we understand from Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. Ananta means innumerable. The Lord has innumerable expansions of His transcendental form, and according to the different positions of the symbolic representations in His four hands, He is known as Narayana, Pradyumna, Niruddha, Vasudeva, etc. There is also a Vaikuntha planet known as Kapila Vaikuntha, to which Devahuti was promoted to meet Kapila and reside there eternally, enjoying the company of a transcendental son. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So Devahuti became liberated by following the instructions of Lord Kapila. First she became freed from the three modes of material nature, which is considered to be liberation from the material bondage. And then she was meditating on the super soul, so she achieved the super soul. And finally, Bhagavantam avapyaha, she achieved the status of going to the spiritual world, attaining the spiritual world, where the Lord resides in the Vaikuntha planets as a predominating deity, served by millions and millions of servants. And she went to a particular planet which Prabhupada mentions here as Kapila Vaikuntha, and she used to reside there eternally, enjoying the company of her transcendental son. So the absolute truth, as we understand the purpose of human life, the goal of human life or goal of Bhakti Yoga, is to attain the position of a servant of the Lord. Normally, when somebody starts some kind of inquiry about spiritual life, gradually, even we, before we came to Prabhupada's books, if at all we are interested in knowing who is God and this kind of things, and also, what is we can tend to hear that, you can get so many powers by meditation and, if the spirit is liberated from matter, it can be very powerful. Or nobody is, without guidance from the scriptures, there is no clear goal as to what is the total absolute truth. The Buddhists say it's just cessation of material existence, nirvana. Gone, nothing, no spirit, nothing like that. Spirit itself is a higher matter. Ultimately spiritual. There is nothing like spirit. Very sophisticated materialism. That material energy produces spirit, produces consciousness. So therefore they are called, as far as the eternity is concerned, it is shunya, nothing. So shunyavads. So the entire existence is reduced to shunyas. Then that is a goal, okay. To attain shunya is a goal. To attain nirvana is the goal, the end of material existence. The impetus is again same thing. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. Everything is temporary, everything is painful and material world. That was the basis for Buddha also to go into this path. Then there are the impersonalists. Impersonalists, they want more, next step of this thing is that there is some spirit. There's an eternal substance called spirit. That is Brahman. So wherever Brahman is mentioned in the scriptures, that is taken as the final attainment, final perfection of soul. So each individual, when you read this, you think, okay, my goal is to attain Brahman. Again, if you see, what is Brahman? No definition, no dimension, no world, no relationship, no rasa, nothing. So that way also, if you see that the impersonalist ultimate realization is everybody is one, and that one is that Brahman. We are so much conditioned that we think that in human life, perfection, meditation or anything that we do, there's something that I will go and reach and I'll become. In all these aspects, in all these other spiritual paths, you see that they never ever think of an eternally existing, infinite, expansive existence. There's no question of, even take scientists also. Scientists, Western philosophers, they were all going behind what is cause of all causes. The whole modern science also began as a philosophy. What is the cause behind it? Then they assume there must be a fundamental cause for everything. So they were also, it is called reductionist philosophy. Reduce, go on reducing everything, reductionism. There is one cause. One day we'll find one cause. That was how the science started. But of course, now science has changed, physics has changed, then no longer they hold that reductionist philosophy of science, that ultimately there is one cause. They say that is an illusion. Because the reason is, when they went deeper into the atoms, they saw that, okay, this is cause of this is cause of this is cause of this. And finally they were very excited, 2-3 particles are cause of this. Then after that, those 2-3 particles started expanding in the other direction into infinite particles, practically. So many, more than, today they have about, list is going on increasing. One splits into further split. Now the split is so difficult. To find a split, you have to spend billions of dollars in a particle accelerator. So they concluded that there's this reductionist thinking was very classical kind of thinking started by Aristotle and all those things. Now the reality is infinite. So even though physics started with finding truth, now the scientists have accepted that we are not dealing with truth. We are dealing with observation. What the truth is, you do not know, I do not know, science does not know. So that also, if you see, again you compare, scientists are also Gyanis. They also one kind of seekers of truth. Then there are Nirvana-vadis, then there are Maya-vadis, impersonalists. Then you see here, what is the goal that Devavati reached? She became a servant in a Vaikuntha planet, and existence is unlimited Vaikuntha planets, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. This whole idea of my perfection is where I control the universe, or my perfection is where, everything is, I understand and full knowledge is there. There's no question of knowing existence at all for Jiva. What to speak of the Jiva knowing the extent of existence? Lord Ananta cannot, with his unlimited mouths, he cannot exhaust describing the expanse and the opulences of existence. And all this is emanating from Krishna. And then again, if it's emanating from Krishna, it does not mean that it is all other things, only Krishna exists. No. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Param Satya is person and Shakti. They are eternally existing. So Krishna, Govinda Mahadi Purusham, the Supreme Sarva Karana Karanam, from him emanates all energies. So absolute truth is not one, absolute truth is Lord with his energy, Shaktis. And Lord is eternal, his Shaktis are eternal. The Lord himself is unlimited, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. His Shaktis are also unlimited. So finally, by understanding Srimad-Bhagavatam, understanding the philosophy of absolute truth in Srimad-Bhagavatam, one comes to the conclusion that don't search for anything else. The absolute truth is Bhagavan with all his opulences, with all his manifestations, inconceivable by the Jiva. And each of us are completely satisfied when we reach the Vaikuntha Loka, when we reach the lotus feet of Krishna in service of the eternal abode. So you start the search for absolute truth with saying, I want to know what is the truth, what is the truth, what is the truth, what is the truth. You end up saying that truth is infinite, truth is immeasurable. But the source is one. The Supreme Lord. And that personality, the understanding of that personality can be deduced by understanding this personality, the Jiva. Jiva is like a sample God, Prabhupada says. So if you want to understand God and his estate is entire existence, then you just compare yourself to a living entity. All aspects of this to infinite extent. You give infinite potencies to a small Jiva, then that is the absolute truth. There is a small sample, a person is there, then he has got his properties, he has got his relatives, he has got his people. In the material world, you see these things happen. They can be observed. They are all pockets of these things. And this is the structure of absolute truth also. Only thing is, Lord is the center, and there are unlimited Vaikuntha planets, unlimited living entities are engaged in serving the Lord. So the focus is the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So ultimately, Jnana ends in frustration. Because that is not the goal of jiva. Goal of jiva is rasa, is bhakti, and not jnana. Pleasure, love, that is the goal. So therefore one gives up. I need to know this, I need to know this, I need to know. No, you don't need to know anything. You need to know your Lord. The Lord is your Lord. Every jiva, because he has got Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam, you have a Lord, you have a Lord, you have a Lord, you have a Lord. Starting with the material world itself as Paramatma, we all have our Lord. The material world, the idea of Lord is Parameshwara, one supreme controller. That is one of his leelas, controlling this material world. But actually, even though he's controlling this material world, the real understanding is that he's seated in everybody's heart. So every one of us have a fundamental spiritual right to develop a relationship with the Lord, and he is available. So highly personalized also, the realization of the absolute truth. At the same time, it is unlimited. Gopis are so close to Krishna, but they say, I cannot understand Krishna. Inconceivable. That is the nature of the absolute truth as revealed in Srimad-Bhagavatam. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This related, please help me understand this, Prabhu. You made two statements that Lord's Shaktis are unlimited and the Lord is unlimited. So Lord's Shaktis, we understand that it is infinite, many varieties, many Shaktis he has. So when you say the Lord is unlimited, this statement, the Lord is unlimited, do we mean that he is unlimited in forms, or what is this statement?
He is unlimited in forms. As a person is unlimited, and because as a person is unlimited, each of those persons have unlimited Shaktis. So the Lord as a person is unlimited, coming from Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. That means his capacity to enjoy is in the form of taking unlimited forms. But the same individuality, an easy way of understanding, a little better way of understanding this is, just like we consider we are this body. So our bodily personality is a core personality as far as material existence is concerned. Then we take up various situational identities. I am husband to somebody, I am father to someone, I am friend to someone, I am etc. In each of those, you have a core identity as this body. Then the same body relates with somebody as father, somebody as son, somebody as this. So there is a core identity and there is a situational identity. The situational identity you take for different rasa. Your father rasa is different, your son rasa is different. The same body is a core identity. Similarly, we can say the core identity of the Supreme Absolute Truth as revealed in Srimad-Bhagavatam is Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, Krishna. Therefore, he is Adi Purusha. Now just like I gave this example, we have a core identity that I am this body. From this core identity, I develop so many different situational identity. God has same thing. If you take God, He can take different forms for different situations. So his situational identity of Vishnu is different. Individuality is same. The core individuality is same. The identity means how do you identify? Does Narasimha look like same like Varaha? No. So identification is different. So unlimited identity, for each identity he will expand his body into another form. We cannot do that. In one core identity we say all this, we remain in one body. So that is what, by understanding the sample God and understanding from the scriptures what Krishna, it's very easy to understand that this is an opulence of the Lord, it's an enjoying capacity of the Lord. When he wants to enjoy with his devotee in a particular rasa, he comes out as Narasimha. In another form, he comes out as Narayana, all over Vaikuntha. In another situation, he comes out as Lord Ramachandra. The core personality is the same, absolute truth. That understanding is called Vishnu Tattva. Vishnu Tattva is an unlimited Tattva, because there are unlimited Vishnus. So now we are hearing, first time I am hearing Kapila Vaikuntha. There is a Vaikuntha planet like that. We cannot come to know everything. As you go on, we will hear more and more things. Oh, really. So spiritual world, spiritual details, the leelas of the Lord are unlimited. Therefore, it's in spiritual world also it's exciting. What more. Not that, okay, I've finished knowing. You go on to what more. And they're all opulences of the Lord. So that way we can understand that we cannot conceive. Just because we are human beings and we have these tendencies, we have got a seed of that. But and all these, and we also have a seed of what rasa it is. What is rasa in all these things? And then you extrapolate this to God. You just get bewildered by his enjoying capacity. That is why our constitutional position of enjoyment is to enjoy with the infinite, by receiving enjoyment from the infinite, by trying with the mood of giving enjoyment to the infinite. And that's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, those who are after sense gratification are misers. Misers means your entitlement is something else. Hey, you are like a beggar, you are going after the beggary pleasures of this material world, foolish fellow. That is what Krishna is telling Mudha. Your entitlement, as a soul, your entitlement is to link up with God. And that quality of pleasure, quality of Satchit Ananda from the Lord is completely different from what we are trying to hear in the material world. Like crows go after some crumbs of bread thrown or some. In the same way, in the material world, all pleasures are like. When you eat bread, you have a nice portion you eat. The last burnt portion, that crumbs, sometimes you throw it out. Waste. In the material world, you only have got garbage pleasure. Garbage pleasure. Why? Because it's disconnected from Krishna. It's an illusion. When disconnected from Krishna, how can there be pleasure? It is illusory pleasure. So Krishna consciousness that way doesn't mean it is because we are stuck and we are in illusion, therefore we say we have to renounce. But we have to renounce really means you have to renounce nonsense. We have to renounce garbage and accept real life in association with the Lord. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, actually you said that gopis were the topmost devotees of the Lord. But still they never said that I know Krishna. They didn't have that ego. But when I come across...
It's not about ego. They don't know at all. They really believe they don't know. Because it's a fact also. You cannot figure out Krishna. Not because of ego. They don't know. They're making a factual statement. Then continue.
But when I come across many of the donors, and I go for preaching, so they say, Swamiji, I meet Krishna, or I have seen the Balagopala form of Krishna. Krishna comes in my dream like that. So now, like I have two conditions there. Either I appreciate them, keep them in illusion, and collect donations from them. Other side is, I appreciate that I actually tell them the truth. That actually this is all is bogus. Means what sentiment they are showing. And they may get hurt and they may not give donation. So what is the right now?
Take donation. Obvious. Even if I tell you don't, you will not follow. You see, once you know what is the real tattva, then obviously when person says all these kind of things, you should not say it is bogus. In reality also it is, from our standards it may be bogus. But at least he's thinking of Krishna, at least he's imagining, there's so many things he's doing, my deity, my this thing, all those things. We should respect him for that level of devotion. So maybe you'll find something good there. But if you want him to become a disciple of Prabhupada and get into real path of bhakti, then it's a different matter. Then your level of instruction is something else. Otherwise, whatever Krishna consciousness that you see in that person, we should appreciate. Yeah, you are a great devotee of Krishna, you should say. It's not lying. Because there are unlimited great devotees. When you say he's a great devotee of that, he's a great devotee. And you are fortunate to get the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, and therefore you have this understanding. So by taking donation from him, you are able to engage him in devotional service. And that gives you, basically, you see, is he better than a person who doesn't worship Krishna at all? He's definitely better, right? So that much difference we should also show in our heart. He deserves that much more respect. He's misguided, so he is talking so many things. Krishna sleeps with me, and I feed him, I bathe him, and all those things he will tell. Let him tell, no? At least you don't get bewildered. Oh, here I found a pure devotee. We know it not. There is a process. It's not easy to become a pure devotee of Krishna. It's called Chaya Bhakti. Chaya. It's not even Chaya Bhakti. Ours is also called Chaya Bhakti. But ours is a bona fidely guided practice. Theirs is total concocted Chaya Bhakti. It will also help some Sukriti they'll come to this. The Shuddha Bhakti is performed by Atma. The body, mind system, when we offer feelings and all those things, when we are still conditioned, it is like a, It's like pure emotions, but not real emotions. So like pure emotions, we start bhakti with, look-alike emotions towards Krishna. That is the reason why, Bhaktivedanta Thakur had to do so much work to cleanse Chaitanya's movement of, so many sampradayas. They thought that the emotions that you can generate in your mind-body system is same as the spiritual emotions. And they made it very cheap. In the sense, that is very cheap, no. I can concoct, I love Krishna, I love Krishna, I love Krishna, I love Krishna. I am his girlfriend, I am his girlfriend, like this you can go on, and then, to support that, some guru will say, actually you should wear sari. So men used to wear saris, big thing in Bengal. And they're all Lord Chaitanya's followers. The people were considered as Lord Chaitanya's followers. And naturally, because they were not pure, some will wear sari, some will wear man dress, and man-woman relationship will go on. So what happened? Only sometime you will feeling that Krishna is, I am Krishna's girlfriend. And other times you are somebody else's girlfriend. So much of corruption happened. And then Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta lifted up this whole fallen Siddhanta, misused by people, took it to transcendental level, and then said that this practice of bhakti, it has to be regulated. You cannot imagine relationship with Krishna like that. You definitely develop surrender to Krishna. You don't have to imagine any relationship with Super Soul, because Super Soul is there. You surrender to him. You follow his instructions, etc., etc. Gradually raise your consciousness. So this is a path of real truth. There is not a truth plus. Truth ends in ultimately rasa. Doesn't mean, at these levels we can turn that into rasa. This level also we have a rasa. Without rasa we cannot survive. But our rasas are what at this level? Dedication to Prabhupada, pleasing Prabhupada, right? Doing japa properly. These are all, if you do japa properly, this is our rasa. And then adhyatmika, the soul rasa will come to us automatically after yesterday as we discussed, our chitta should become fully purified, no shortcut. So we don't get feelings by people crying and crying and crying about, they go on crying, I feel, so Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You chant Hare Krishna, tears keep coming. The mechanism sets up, but a chaya, that's something not bad, it's good, but that cannot be called as Lord Chaitanya's teaching. That is why Bhaktivedanta Thakur fought for it. It's not that they are demons or anything. If they claim to be Lord Chaitanya's followers, they are claiming to practice Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy. You cannot do this. That is the whole fight. Misguided.
Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, my question is that living entity is minute in its constitutional position in comparison.
Living entity
is minute or limited.
Right.
In all the abilities that if we see that are there in the Lord also. But when we talk about that pleasure, experiencing the pleasure, that is, we also share that same pleasure that Lord also shares. Even in the conditional state also, as you mentioned in this lecture, that we are hankering for like ocean of pleasure, but what we get here is like some misery pleasure. So how to understand this one aspect that is given us in so much in quantity, but in all other abilities we are so limited. But when it comes to talk about the pleasure, and it is like we have unlimited capacity to enjoy the pleasure.
We have capacity. You keep your mic little away.
We have we are not limited when we talk about experiencing the pleasure. So that's why I wanted to understand that even in conditional stage also living entity can enjoy this much quantity of pleasure. But here in this material world we get very less, so we keep on hankering. And so I just wanted to understand that is it Lord's mercy that it has been given that so that the living entity will ultimately come to this?
Yes. Okay. All rasas are there in this, which are there in the spiritual world. Naturally, in the human form of life, sample is given by Maya. Maya is part of the Lord's plan, bigger plan. So we have got all these rasas in the human form of life. So we learn the vocabulary of these rasas. If you take an animal life, he does not have those. He in his consciousness, in his chitta, the animal chitta, he cannot develop these finer rasas of, let's say, conjugal, friendship, as much as we can have in the human form. So human form is very, very special, because it can be used as a jumping platform to the spiritual world. So these rasas are there in the human form also, in all living entities, to different types. So that we know that these rasas are not fulfilled at all. I am always dissatisfied. In the spiritual world, there is a different kind of dissatisfaction. There is a satisfaction and they want more. That is another kind of dissatisfaction. Because always dynamic, looking forward, satisfied. In the material world, you're dissatisfied and dissatisfied. You're dissatisfied and dissatisfied. That means there is nothing and then you are dissatisfied. The spiritual world, you have something and then you want more. You want more of that. So these things are given to Jiva in the entire scheme of things, so that we start thinking, where is the perfection of conjugal rasa? Where is the perfection of any of these rasas? Where is the perfection of love? Where is the perfection of sensuality? Where is that perfection? So you'll ask that question because you seek that perfection. Your nature is to seek that quality which you are entitled to. And you don't get it. So there is a hope hanging always. In the material world, there is a hope pleasure. Hope pleasure is not coming from the sense object. Hope pleasure is self-generated, isn't it? Suppose I say there is a feast after this class, big feast. Then with anticipation, your pleasure starts. There's a hope pleasure. It is not coming from the food. So similarly, there is a hope pleasure of spiritual quality of pleasure. There is a hope pleasure. That hope pleasure we go and we get here, we try here. This way we paste it on things which do not have. So that another answer for your question is, why do we still feel pleasure? Because you have pleasure potency. With your pleasure potency, you can generate hope pleasure. It is in your hands. But fulfillment you may not get. You need a sense object to fulfill it. But hope pleasure. So hope pleasure is also pleasure. But it is not coming from an interaction, but it is coming from your own thing. So basically, entire material world, what we experience is our own pleasure potency. That is beautifully explained by that camel example. The camel eats thorns, and then it thinks it is tasty, but actually it is tasting its own blood. Similarly, all pleasure that we experience in this material world is my own blood. My own blood means my own adhyatmic spiritual pleasure potency. Lord has pleasure potency, Jiva also has pleasure potency. Ah, yes, hope pleasure, hope for pleasure. So here hope for pleasure is equal to pleasure, and that is all it is. No pleasure. Therefore Prabhupada said there is no pleasure in this world. Then you will understand if there is no pleasure, then what is it I am experiencing? It is your hope pleasure. In your own blood. Thorn does not have any taste, but we mix it with thorn. So similarly we paste hope pleasure on male, female forms, other sense objects, and then we settle for that illusion. Any other question? Last question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. There are 10 offenses which we chant against the chanting the holy names of the Lord. So one of the offenses is to blaspheme the Vedic literatures and literatures in pursuance of the Vedic version. So how does it relate it to my chanting?
How it is related to?
My personal chanting, because there looks a gap, because it's not directly
like
related.
that out 10 offenses, so many things are not directly related to your chanting.
Yeah, so
that is your doubt. So basically,
how it is?
The 10 offenses is about the background consciousness. That means if you don't have, you can be an offender to the holy name, not only during chanting. Tendency is chanting is a process. Oh, without offense I should chant means at the time of chanting I should not blaspheme the Vedic literature or any. No, it is a whole state of consciousness, a prerequisite which the spiritual master has explained why all those things are not. Then you get an authority to chant his name offenselessly. Just like you see, the Vedas, Vedic literature, they are Krishna's words. They are Krishna's Shabda. It is not different from the holy name. The holy name you are chanting, but every word in the scripture is absolute, Shabda Brahman. So you cannot blaspheme that. You cannot undermine that. It's a variety. Your spiritual master has given you the highest, the Nama of the Lord in Goloka Vrindavana. Now you should not undermine all the other Vedic literatures. So that is, it's all connected to, for instance, to consider the names of other demigods as same as Vishnu's name. Then again, there, what is the truth? You have to understand Vishnu Tattva. Everybody is a subordinate Tattva. There is absolute hierarchy. Not everybody is one, everybody is same. So therefore that you have to have that realization. There is an absolute hierarchy where Vishnu stands transcendental in the material world. And in the spiritual world, no doubt. So like that, all these 10 offenses is basically the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. You have to, that is why reading is very important. Only by reading regularly, understanding, you can actually chant offenselessly. By understanding the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, more or less, we don't make many of those offenses. We only make this offense of inattentiveness. We make this offense of, another tendency is to make offense of blaspheming the devotees of the Lord who have dedicated their lives, like all those things. That one offense we have to be careful. We can do because we are living in the midst of the devotees. The other offense is inattentiveness to chanting and to maintain material attachments. So these are the actually two things that the full-time devotees have to focus on. Maintaining material attachment, what will happen to me, what will happen to my old age, all that. Then where is the quality of chanting? Surrender to Krishna. Surrender to Krishna Nama. Why you have to worry about that? You have no faith. You have no faith. The Lord is right there for you every day to serve. So, maintaining materially. We all have material attachments. Having material attachment is different. Maintaining what you have is different. So that we have to be careful. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.